As recruiters, it is so important to show what value you bring to your client. So are you so confused on how you can show your ROI to clients? Check out this video right now and I'll show you how. Hey, welcome to the Millionaire Recruiter. I'm Brianna Rooney, your Millionaire Recruiter. If you have not seen this channel before, it's all about upping your game in the recruiting industry and making you the next Millionaire Recruiter. So let's get to it. Now, if this sounds like content that you are super interested in grabbing and knowing more about, definitely hit the subscribe button. I appreciate it. Love to see you guys every week. Now, it is March and it is week 4 of the 30-day challenge. If you have entered this contest, you are almost at the end, and I hope you are rocking it out. You're already seeing how valuable this has been for you and you're jumpstarting your recruiting career. Remember to keep track. If you have any questions, let us know. And the winner will be the person who has been the most consistent and has had the best results, which wins a 60-minute coaching session with me, which I do charge $400 for. So pretty good job. Here we go. Now, how to show your value to clients. So important. First of all, this is a hard industry, right? Like we're constantly being knocked this way, knocked that way. You know, we've seen internal recruiters get let go again. After COVID, we saw it and we see it again now. And it's hard, right? And so as external recruiters, I do think that this is our year because the companies just don't have the internals to help them, but they still need to hire. Not only need to hire because their business is back and growing and they've refocused, but also because naturally when there's layoffs at a company, other people are going to leave. So there's backfills that need to be done. We're here to save the day. So how can you show your client that you're the one to continue to use? You are showing value, and even if you're an internal recruiter, you can still show value to them. There's lots of things you can do. So first and foremost, you need data. What's their data today? So as you're talking to clients and you're doing the intake with them, which yes, I have videos on that, so check that out. But as you're doing that, you are trying to see what is their pass-through rate? What is their time to fill currently? If you have that data before, then you can show how great you're doing since you've joined, since you've partnered with them. Super important. Another thing I like to do to show my value is give transparency. I have candidate trackers. If you don't have one, you need to have it. Or maybe you just use a CRM and you can just print out that data. Even though I have a database, yes, I love it. Recruit CRM is great. Love that. We'll also put a link below if you want to check them out. They give amazing free trials. That's how they got me. But the transparency is through a candidate tracker. And I still have one even though I have a database. And the reason I do that is because it shows pass-through rates in a different way. And it keeps me organized. And honestly, it's just something that's super easy for me. So give transparency. Say, hey, I'm going to give you access to my candidate tracker. You can go on at any given time. You can see the LinkedIn profile to see if I'm on track. You can put notes in there, like whatever works for you. I like to do that because, again, it just shows my integrity. And transparency is naturally a pretty honest thing. Also, during your weekly syncs. So you have to have weekly syncs with your hiring managers in order to really keep a strong process. Some, do every other week, and that's totally fine as long as they're still, they're getting back to you, again, whether it's on Slack or email or whatever it is, or in their own database. Now, whether you're doing this on the phone or via email, it's really important to then show what your pass-through rate is. I like to do this by either sending them the document that shows them this or to share screen it because your level of organization will really impress them. I don't think that there are a lot of hiring managers that even understand the organization that has to go for a recruiting process that all recruiters have to go through. There's actually a lot of admin work that has to do this. And it's really impressive to show like where you're at and why you care about things. Data wins every game. Also, what's something that's great to show value is show them how much outreach you've done for this role. You can show them your message if you want, if you're really proud of it. I go back and forth on that because sometimes, depending on the client, it's not as exciting as the other one. So that all depends. But essentially, every single outreach message you send is free marketing for them. And that's massive because even if those people aren't getting back, it doesn't matter. They still have now heard about that company and that's super powerful. It might not be powerful today, but it'll be powerful in the future. So if you watch that last video that I just did on essentially how to make money on every single interaction, companies should still understand that your outreach will help them either now or in the future. Another amazing thing to show value is to give meaningful feedback, good or bad. It doesn't really matter. You have to give it all. And you have to give it from the candidate's point of view, which again shows, wow, you guys really build relationships with your candidates. Your candidates are telling you all of this because remember, candidates tend to tell recruiters way more than they will tell the actual company and the hiring managers. So that's like super, super, super great. Now, when things are taking a turn and maybe the client isn't being great, or they had a couple of episodes with candidates that were a bad experience, whatever the case is, you have to have a I am concerned meeting with them. And yes, you need to say those words. It took me a long time in my career to figure that out because I've had those hard conversations, but sometimes clients just don't get it until you actually use those words. It's kind of like, when your parents said all three of your names, Brianna Rooney, you're like, ooh. That's kind of what it does to clients as well, that I am concerned. I am concerned you're not going to hit your hiring goals. I am concerned that your candidate experience is very poor. I am concerned that your reputation isn't very strong. See how powerful that is? And you're immediately yeah, let's fix this. Additionally, in order to show value to clients, I like to keep a doc that shares all of the feedback that you have gathered, whether it's a job description needs some cleanup, their website, their career page, really anything you kind of hear on the streets, you found something on their Glassdoor, anything that you have found that they can do small tweaks and fix rather quickly, whether because you told them to or they just had their marketing team on it, who knows, but bringing stuff like that to their attention is super powerful. And again, shows that you pay attention and you're just as invested in their company as they are, which as an external recruiter, even as an internal recruiter, that's kind of rare. It's rare to find either the employees or the partners that really, truly care. So be that person that really, truly cares because it will help. It will help you no matter what. Now, here's the key though. Let's not nitpick people because it is insulting. But if you can change something that will really move the needle for them, that's amazing. Last but not least, and I go back and forth on whether or not this is an internal doc or an external doc. But in order to show value to a client, you need to cover your ass doc. And essentially, no client is perfect. No hiring manager is perfect. No recruiter is perfect. You're not perfect, right? All sorts of things go wrong. However, when you're having conversations with them and you're noting, hey, I talked to the hiring manager about their bias on January 12th, whatever it is, right? And then 3 weeks later, you get a call from a different hiring manager or that person's boss and says, Brianna, why didn't you tell me hiring manager had biases? Now we're having candidates complain. I told hiring manager on this day. So you can very easily pull up that doc and reference it, which is so important because lots of times too, clients can love you 1 month and hate you the next because most human nature is, what have you done for me lately? Well, I'll show you what I've done for you lately because that's really important. And what's important too is, again, because our industry is so bleh, sometimes our reputation isn't great, is that companies want to blame someone. And so it's very easy to blame the recruiter if an offer didn't go through or if a candidate just ditched them and ghosted them in the middle, But if you have these notes and say, actually, I told you candidate A had to go through the hiring process within 3 weeks and you said on this date that you could do that. Well, it's now been 4 weeks, so that's why they left. How great do you look, right? Because we can't just be taken advantage of. We can't be put down. We have to own up and build this confidence because this is how you will build your value. And when you have your confidence and value strong here and here, you're naturally going to be able to shine that through to the client. But just don't assume because you do a great job that your client also will always remember that. Again, this comes back to a recommendation. Ask for a recommendation in the middle of the partnership with the client. You don't have to wait until you've had a win. Naturally, that is, again, human nature for recruiters to ask for recommendations after a win. But if you're doing solid work and you're showing data that their interview process is better since you've been there, their top of funnel is stronger since you've been there, the quality is stronger, the time you've saved the hiring managers is stronger, the time you've saved their own internal recruiting team, win. You are valuable. So show your value, feel your value. And if you ever need help with that, I definitely suggest having a little success journal or a growth journal, which I'm starting to make one because I feel like it's just so super powerful. So when we do, we'll let you know. But I myself have struggled with this in my career. So you have to take care of yourself and you have to also show your value everywhere. So thank you so much for watching and good luck with the last bit of the 30-day challenge. I can't wait to see how you're all doing. It's a lot of work, right? Great. All right, I'll see you every Thursday at noon. And don't forget that money is just a vessel to do all the amazing things you want to go do in life. Go live it. See you next week.